Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So in this video, we're having a look at what's going on with OpenLoot and specifically, I suppose, Big Time. So Big Time is a blockchain game that's been in development for a couple of years now, sort of famously, I suppose, from the one of the co-founders, actually, Decentraland. It's currently available to play. It's a PC game if you have one of their passes. So there's various passes. You can see here the Ruby Pass holders can join in the action now. Previously it was, can't remember, Gold, Jade, can't remember, there are a few different sort of versions of it, but anyway. So basically if you have one of those passes now, all the pass holders can play the game. So PC game, you have to download it. And they've recently just updated their sort of launcher. So previously when I was playing the early access, you actually had a Big Time sort of executable you downloaded and played, and now you do it through a launcher, which is just a sort of better way of doing it. Because you can sort of update the launcher and not updating all the code all the time. Anyway, this is the web page. So it's all a bit complicated. So OpenLoot is sort of the platform that's sort of running underneath Big Time. So Big Time is sort of the biggest game running on that. And the marketplace is on OpenLoot. There is another game actually on OpenLoot as well, and OpenLoot is run by the same people, Big Time Studios. So they're all sort of part of the same thing at the moment, although I think over time they want it to sort of be its own sort of platform. I think it runs its own blockchain architecture underneath. Not quite sure what exactly it's running. I guess there's a few of these sort of platforms, I guess like Forte and Mythical, which sort of maybe are running various blockchains sort of underneath the hood. So we can see here when we go to games, there's Big Time, which is the sort of the famous one. Then there's boss fights. This is not from Big Time Studios. So I don't know anything about this at all. Multiplayer game where a VR player controls a boss fighting a team of PC players in a wacky battle. So they both have stores. This is the point of OpenLoot, is they have stores, although it looks like the store is not live for that at the moment, but that's okay. So we go to Big Time. Big Time has been around, say, for a couple of years, and some of these assets have been around for a while. So typical sort of thing, we get various different sort of rarity levels, and there's actually quite a lot of different categories. So the games say live for certain NFT holders. And the interesting thing about Big Time is all these NFTs, I think pretty much all these NFTs are being mined out by the players. So I don't think there's been people haven't been buying these from the developer. They've been sort of getting them from the game. So as ever, you can kind of, with an NFT, there's obviously a maximum amount of supply, and then there's a price. So the point of this is the price is being set by the players. And as ever, we can sort of sort. So some of these things are sort of fairly cheap, and obviously some of them are set. The prices at least are set extremely expensive. And obviously, if it's a legendary sort of thing, people might think these are expensive. Of course, if anyone's going to pay for any of these, who knows? Really. The game's not live yet, so it's sort of hard to judge. The one thing that people did buy actually from the developer were these spaces. So spaces are sort of like rooms, and they're sort of like in a room at NFT land. So depending on how big these are, there's certain sort of things you can craft or storage you can use. And actually, these were a bit of a disaster in the sense that they were sold at a dollar price, and now because of the crypto market in general, the price of all these is down considerably from what they were. So there's a certain issue, as is the case with pretty much every game NFT at the moment. About anything, the price is volatile. So I'm just looking at the marketplace at the moment. So if you want to go and buy something, so I've actually got $2 of sort of credit here, credit. So it's a interestingly, it is a custodial wallet in the sense that the OpenLoot runs a wallet for you, and you can't get the private key, so you have to transfer value in there. Either you can do it from a credit card, or you can do it through crypto, through your own crypto wallet. The problem I've had is the credit card bit doesn't seem to work. At least I'm getting errors on that, so that's not working at the moment. And if you want to do it through crypto, you have to go through KYC, which seems a little bit over the top for me. But anyway, I guess all these things are sort of slightly in sort of work in progress. But I thought I'd go and buy something anyway. So I've got $2, so I can go and buy something for $2. there are these items. So the interesting thing about these is that they are just cosmetic. So having these sort of weapons doesn't give you any extra sort of stats in the game. It just gives you a aesthetic look, and that's the same for these sort of other. I guess these are for kitting out your room, your space, and then there's various, as we saw before, various sort of armors and things like that. So it's an interesting approach to take. I mean, the advantage of that is it means that there's sort of there's no pay to win, which is sort of a controversial issue, whether games and even blockchain games should be paid to win or not. Obviously, it's harder to generate value around these things if there's just cosmetic value. Of course, we've seen with CS:GO, if there's enough players there and the game's been around for long enough, that people will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just buying skins for knives and guns. So it's not to say that there is no value attached to cosmetics, but it's much obviously harder to build up that cosmetic value. But the advantage is obviously then you're not getting this big sort of boom bust cycle that you get from things where people are buying NFTs to win games and maybe earning tokens, and it becomes a financialized or highly financialized product. I mean, Big Time doesn't have that. It doesn't even have a token at the moment, although it will have a token at some point, I believe. What should we go for? I don't know really. It's sort of slightly irrelevant. Let's go for the Battle Blade of Sir Hector. So we can see here it's uncommon, one for $1.32, 3,500 is max supply. We can see this is the same for all uncommon items. So I should be able to buy this. Let's see how we get on. So we can see here these are all the various items for sale. So there's got 3,500 of these. There's quite a lot of these, and obviously people are just pricing these. If I wait, maybe I'll get one cheaper tomorrow. But let's see if we can buy it now. So I'm going to pay with my balance. Input creator code. Well, I don't know what's going on there. This is the number 912 of the 3,500. So I'm just going to pay for that with my balance. It should work. So we can see here, obviously this is running through their sort of back-end system. This isn't running, as far as I know, on any public blockchain, even though the spaces were being sold. They've had assets, I think, on Polygon and Ethereum. But we'll wait to see. So we can see here that my value has gone down. So they've taken payment. Here's my collection. So it's not come through at the moment. So these are actually two spaces that I bought back in the day when they were selling these off. As a sort of primary mint when they were selling off the spaces probably a couple of years ago now. I also got this bonus gift item. Don't quite know what that is. And we have these sort of this option of in-game items. So these are things that I could use in the game, and then items to sell. So I guess it's sort of a case of sort of things being on the infrastructure that the game is running on. I mean, broadly we can think of that maybe as an L2. So NFTs on a scaling solution where they're there for sort of quick usage in the game, and hopefully when my sword turns up, that will be here, and then there's items to sell. Aha, and there it is. So my Battle Blade of Sir Hector is there because I just bought it from the marketplace. It's sitting in the items to sell because it's on that infrastructure. So I could sell that again. If I sold that for $1, probably sell it for $1, but then I would have lost 32 cents. Maybe I don't think anyone would probably buy it. But then I can move this to in-game items, and that's now gone in here. So that's fairly straightforward. That's sort of what we'd expect to see in these sort of situations. I guess the thing here is you're not quite sure in terms of the blockchain or the infrastructure what exactly is happening, because they're sort of running it like a Web 2 sort of platform. Obviously, there's some advantages in that, and in general, I think Big Time. That's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to position this more as just a game that has digital items. I'm not talking about NFTs or blockchain or anything like that. They're sort of putting that in the background, and maybe over time they will be sort of opening that up a little bit more to people, because clearly that it is a blockchain game, That's a sort of, it's always been designed as that, but it's a case of more sort of positioning and sort of the early stages of how you get people educated into what these things actually are. So anyway, that's what's going on with Big Time. I guess sort of slowly moving towards, I mean, I don't know with these games anymore, if it's still in what they count as an open beta or early access, or, you know, I don't quite know if there's a formal launch, sort of public launch. I guess you still need one of those NFTs to play it, one of those pass NFTs to play it, so it still would count as being in some sort of closed beta, I suppose. But anyway, keep an eye on what's going on, so please subscribe to the channel. See you again soon. Bye.